Howdy, y'all. It's your boy, Danny Torres, back from Texas, the Lone Star State. How about him, Steven? Come on, give it to
Yeah,
me. Give
yeah.
it to me, Steven.
I'm
How
not giving
about
you
him?
any of it. I'm not giving you any of it. I'm not giving you the Cowboys. I'm not giving you the chant. My fantasy team is still named the Dallas Cowgirls appropriately, and I'm not giving you the benefit of the doubt, Danny. I know you will still
Which
reek in your glory, so
I just want to
have at
say
it.
it's very glorious that your fantasy name is Dallas Cowgirls, and you're about to go 5-5, and I'm about to go 7-3, and I currently own the best team in all of our fantasy league. Can I get an amen? The best team.
No, bro, no.
Steven defeated me early on, first game of the season. I come back, I defeat him. It's beautiful. Now I own the best fantasy team, which, mind you, it's got two Cowboys on there with Ezekiel Elliott and the none other than Miami native Amari Cooper. Oh, they're doing phenomenal, Steven. They're doing phenomenal. And with that, that's going to be my plug of the week. AT&T Stadium, the Mecca, Jerry's World. We're all Cowboys fans from all over the world reunite in that beautiful dome stadium. Oh, you guys thought we were done. You thought, oh, Teddy Bridgewater rolled into Dallas and they had them 30-0. They win that game 30-16, knocking out the Cowboys. They say, oh, it's false. The Cowboys are a sham. Oh, they come into this week against Atlanta Falcons 4-4. And it's 4-4. It's not the best, but it's 4-4. Got Matt Ryan, a former MVP. Got Kyle Pitts playing well. Falcons haven't done too bad in the last 2 weeks. Oh, and what a massacre it was, Steven. 43-3. And let me say it now. How about them Cowboys? You thought we were done, that we were exposed. Oh, the offense and the defense was steamrolling, and they are 7-3 and cruising.
Um, you came back from Dallas with some sort of christening and lightning experience over there. I don't know what happened. Something happened. You got like a different smile to your face. You're doing like some ASMR whispering. There's something going on with you, dude. You got too hyped over Dallas Cowboys dub against the Falcons. Cowboys playing an easy division. It was known that you guys were going to get to the playoffs. Yeah, the season's going along. Going to get to the playoffs. You guys have something to cheer about. Danny's wearing his cowboy hat everywhere. We went to play golf today. This man shows up with a cowboy hat and a Dallas Cowboys T-shirt, and I'm like,
Damn
"Bro,
right.
what's going on with you, man?" He's like, "No, I'm in the Texas spirit." It looked like he just hopped off the plane and was going to handle some cattle or something. So Danny had an experience in Texas. This guy came back with like the accent and everything. I don't know what's up with you, but Cowboys aren't it, bro. Go ahead, have you in the season, the regular season, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, the offense. But playoff time comes around, you gotta play good defense, and you got Trayvon Diggs with all your picks and all the interceptions and the player of the year and I don't know what. And Danny's talking about Trayvon Diggs being an elite cornerback and being fantastic.
Yes,
Well, great. You
sir.
guys beat up on the Falcons, who have who is it? Russell Gage and Zacchaeus at wideout. So yeah, you guys beat the Falcons. Congratulations. Get another dub in the easy
Pick
schedule.
number 8. Pick
I'll
number 8.
come back playoff time and we'll see what happens. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Pick number. I want to hear you say it, Steven. Say it. Say it. Just say it for the audience. Say it. The Dallas Cowboys are a good team this year. I don't want you to say they're the best. I just want you to acknowledge they're a good team this year.
Well, based on their record, yeah. But
Thank you. I will take that. I will take that compliment into my heart, and it will help me sleep at night. And let me say it again. How about them Cowboys? Oh, it is so beautiful. It's a beautiful start to the week, Steven.
man, that was more Cowboys than I thought it would be. This Danny's like, I'm coming into the segment with the hat on and everything and the thing. And I okay. I mean, I respect it. Um, but I don't know,
I
man.
had a
Not it.
I had a Texas Enlightenment.
Yeah, coming back Texan, bro. Plug of the week, not the
What is
Cowboys.
yours?
My plug of the week is the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins went out on a Thursday night. I know we're going to talk about it later, but my
Yep.
plug of the week is specifically the Dolphins defense. They came out to play. They held the Baltimore Ravens to 3 points in the first half, and that's absolutely insane. The defense literally won the game for them. Yeah, Tua came in, made some good throws. I guess they kind of got the running game going from time to time. So I guess they got a bit of offense going, but the defense made it happen, dude. Shutting them down, getting a fumble six. Xavier Howard, I had been bashing him for a couple of weeks. He was performing, kind of bad, but to the benefit of the doubt, I had been saying that big part of the defense, the Dolphins' defense, in their struggles have been the offense, and the offense can't get off the damn field, or they can't stay on the field. Sorry, and the defense has to go out there, be there 20 minutes, of game time, and they got second stringers rolling in. By the time they got 8-10 plays deep in the drive, the defense just can't hold up. So it's been a great job by them holding up Ravens and playing a fantastic game. So shout out to the Dolphins defense. Plug of the week, no question, man.
Oh, let's get into shameless plug. I'm gonna oust myself here for shameless plug. I got a little too confident this weekend, man. Saturday night, we decide that we're gonna go on a Segway tour of all of downtown Dallas, and here I am. I've done a Segway tour before in DC and whatnot, and it's really easy to use. But there was a portion that was just wide open, like sidewalk, big space. And tour guy says, all right, man, crank it. You can, go for it. Like, max out the speed. And I was like, oh, yeah, let's do it. Max out the speed. I was going straight down. Then I tried to make a little turn to make the loop to come right back. It didn't really, it was really dark. I give you that. It was really dark. There wasn't really a light in that area. I didn't measure it properly, Steven. So I'm halfway through this turn, and like the right side of the wheel of the Segway, it hits a curb. Luckily, your boy's got balance. It's that balance that we talk about that Tony Pollard has, Ezekiel Elliott has. Is that type of balance. It hits the curb, and this thing bounces to the left, and I'm here. Like, you should have seen me. I was out there looking like Shaun White on a Segway. I was holding on to that Segway. Got to the I was for a second though. For a split second, I was like, my life is done. Here comes the insurance on the Segway. I'm about to break some legs, some bone in my body that I don't know about. But I saved it though.
That's
But
why I don't let you drive the golf cart.
yeah, it could have been a catastrophe, Steven. But that was the downside of it. Yeah, it could have been a catastrophe.
Yeah, that sounds bad. That sounds terrible. Not good times.
Fun though. It was nice.
Yeah, segways are fun. I rode one of those things out in Atlanta when I went one time, and they got those big hills. Like, when you go out of
Yes.
Miami, you realize that big cities actually have these huge hills that going up and down streets for like no reason at all. So I didn't realize that we're going down the street, and I'm on the Lime scooter, and I'm just zooming down, and I see the street going straight down, and I like literally pump on the brakes right before we go down, and I'm like, nah, bro, this is nuts. So I got off and had to walk it down, because nah, bro, I'm not busting my ass. Hashtag no balance. Some of us just don't got it, bro. So me, I can't ride a skateboard, dude. Like, I'm terrible on a skateboard. I would
Are you
bust
really?
my ass every day of the week, man. Hell no. I could ride a bike. I will absolutely destroy a scooter, bro. Like, I would hit the 360 spins on the scooter, land them and shit. Like, bro, professional.
X Games, bro. Steven's part of the X Games now.
X Games and scooters. I jump on the rails and stuff, but don't give me the skateboard, bro. Don't give me the skateboard.
Hey man, listen, it's not someone in Miami, bro. We're not the biggest hill we have is at Tropical Park.
That's it, bro. Running up and down the hill.
What's your shameless plug? Worst thing that you saw or happened to you this past week?
Shameless plug. I'm gonna throw myself in there this week too. shameless plug. Worst thing I saw was going fishing on Saturday. I had about 3 or 4 gigantic fish on the end of my line. Like they would just hit the line, hit the bait, grab it, and take off. And I just hear the line screeching.
The zzz, yeah.
Can't do anything about it. I can't pull them back because I I already did it the first time. Try to pull them back, the line snaps. The second one, I let them go and I let them go. I try to tighten it a little bit. I hit it back again, and it snaps for the second time. Now I'm pissed. I'm putting another squid at the end of my line. I've been out there for 5 hours in the sun, and I just want to fish, dude. I just want to finish at the end of my line. I had to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go out there fishing. It was hot. It was wavy. I was rocking back and forth like that, and I couldn't get a fish, dude. 3 times I folded on some big fish, and yeah, bro. I went home with no fish to eat on Saturday. It wasn't fun.
That's the worst when you wake up really early, you get out there and you don't catch a damn thing.
We got the bites, bro. We knew the fish were there, and we're there for hours. And at one point, those guys just decided they weren't even gonna bite anymore. So for like the last hour or two, we were just throwing out there to nobody. So it wasn't fun, man. It was not
You
fun.
know, and that's the part. I don't know if it gets to you, but that's the part that infuriates me. That you know they're there, they just don't want to bite it, and you really want to go down there yourself in the water and just grab a fish and just deck a fish in the face.
My dad's friend who's the fisherman who took the boat out, he was like, man, sometimes they just don't want to bite. Some Cuban dude, and he said, eso es como cuando vas a comer. He's like, tú desayunas a las 11 de la mañana y no almuerzas hasta las 4. Los pecados son igual. And that really sat with me, like I didn't think about it, but we fed those guys. They were eating all morning. They were looking healthy, taking our freaking chum, our bait like nothing, and then they decided that they were out of there. So not a great day of fishing, bro.
Breaking news: fish are more like us than we think.
Little did you know.
Little did you know. A piece of advice that we know from Finding Nemo: fish are friends, not food.
There you go.
So we're going to get into something here. Both college athletic programs in this great city of Miami are in straight up chaos. A couple hours ago, when you and I were on the golf course, or right when we left the golf course, the University of Miami fires athletic director Blake James. And this comes just a couple days after FIU fires its AD Pete Garcia. Now, we both know what happened after Pete Garcia's. It leads into Butch Davis not coming back at the end of this year, and we can probably guess that after the news of Blake James being fired by the University of Miami, that this can only lead to one other firing, and that is Manny Diaz. Which, Steven, I tell you, I hope they give him an extension because I've been really loving it. Every season, I love it. I think he's the greatest coach to ever coach football, and they could keep him on a 10-year max deal.
Oh man, the life of a hater, Danny. It's so hard. But yeah, both ads are gone. Obviously, Butch said he's not coming back at the end of the season. But Pete didn't get fired. He stepped down, and he's got like a different role to the president. So he's got a different role. We got FIU's got the interim athletic director in now.
Yep.
Don't really have anywhere to go. Butch made some pretty big startling comments the other day. But it's clear that both programs are just heading in the absolute wrong direction. Like you said, Manny Diaz most probably on the hot seat. He's going to be gone, especially after the loss this week.
We'll get into that later, but
yeah, we'll get into that later. But yeah, man, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for either program. I actually read a report. I saw a tweet that the Miami Hurricanes former players are going to have a 3.5-hour meeting to discuss the future of the program. And supposedly that meeting is going to be aired out like next week or something like that. I saw that from like a Hurricanes football reporter that he tweeted out. Forgot his name at the moment. Good reporter. But that's pretty startling. You just got a bunch of alumni, former players coming together just to say, "Yo, this program sucks. So what are we gonna do?" Are they the new athletic directors coming together and like trying to find a new coach? I don't know what's going on.
It's
Uh,
gonna be some Avengers force coming together.
yeah, I don't know what they're doing. The school has just made questionable decision after questionable decision, and that have been their results. So both teams are in absolute mud, bro.
Yeah, Butch Davis's comments to Brett McMurphy were, I'm seeing a lot of different opinions over Twitter about Butch Davis's comments. Well, first he goes on to say that they've been playing on old equipment. They had jerseys from like 9 years ago. The school, the athletics program is sabotaging the football program, and a lot of fans saying, "Oh, how can Butch say this on his way out?" and like making these excuses and blaming it on the last. Like, I don't think. Yes, he does as a head coach take part in the last 2 years that has been FIU football. I mean, we're like what 1-13, I believe, in
Yeah,
the last 2 years. He does take some part in that. Um, there was a tweet also that came out that FIU in the entire Conference USA spends the most in the football program. Um, but look, here's the problem. If his statements are true and he hasn't been able to recruit outside for the last 2 years, yeah, you can spend as much as you want on the football program, but you're ultimately not helping him succeed because look, other than before last year, Butch Davis was pretty successful with the program. 3 straight bowl appearances. It was really until last year, 2020, with the COVID situation, and this year where it's been rocky, and a lot of his decisions were called into question. But look, nothing surprises me. We both know, and obviously Isaac, who's not here tonight, we've all been within the program, and we know that the leadership over there, and this is coming from an alumni who cares about our university, wants to see our university succeed. This comes from an alumni that's been in there, and we know that the leadership inside the athletics, program it's not good. Yeah, now Pete Garcia's gone, and we got an interim, athletic director. But it starts at the top, and it needs to trickle all the way through. I've tweeted on several occasions that they need to clean the entire house. Is what they need to do. They need to wench out every single person, every bad seed out of there, and it needs to be a clean house, a new slate from the beginning. You can have Nick Saban to be the coach of FIU, and stuff will still be the same because the leadership of the athletic program, it's not good. It needs to be clean house. And for me, and my thoughts on Butch Davis is good for him. I mean, he did what he could with FIU. He tried 3 straight bowl, appearances. They beat UM. I mean, that's good, and that's good enough for me for his tenure as a head coach. That's good enough for me. That satisfies me. Obviously, we didn't get a conference, championship. We didn't beat FAU, but just being in 3 straight bowl games, whether we won them or not, and beating UM, that satisfies me. Always, there's room for improvement, but I'm happy with it.
yeah. His tenure was great. It's kind of been diminished a little bit by the past couple seasons. The fans have really grown restless. Everyone wants him out, and he's just been putting the blame on everything else. Everybody else, but he should be held accountable to some extent. Yes, the program isn't maybe the best funded or they don't have everything they need, but they're in Conference USA. They're not competing against the best teams in the FBS. They're not, competing against Alabama every week. These are games that they have to at least compete in or squeak by or get an overtime, whatever it is. They just can't keep getting blown out every week. Like it's been a problem where Butch was saying, he doesn't have a lot of guys and the team is short. I read a great report by Eric Henry,
Yeah.
and yeah, the team is short. A lot of recruits have left. They've all gone elsewhere, and that's a big problem with the coaching staff and a lot of coaches leaving, and players obviously being frustrated in the locker room. So it just frustration boils over everywhere. Haven't beat an actual team in 2 years. They know it too. They have one win on the season, and they know it's not against a good program. It was their first win of the season. Um, so it's not looking great for Butch. Obviously, he said he's already out, and he's just trying to throw the blame elsewhere to not diminish and tarnish the end of what's been a good solid coaching career for him. So I am proud of what he's done at FIU, taking us to bowl games, beat UM, but that was a couple years ago already, and you can't keep clinging on to it.
To his defense, like I've gotten to know Coach Davis. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. He cares for his student athletes. He cares for the people that work in the program and in the athletics department. Um, I think he's just through his tenure, he's been quiet. I think he's been quiet and he's held into all of this stuff that's happened within the athletics department. And I think now with everyone just kind of pointing the finger at him for what's going on in the last 2 seasons, I think he's venting out that frustration of the athletics department not helping him into that role of being able to help the team succeed. So I feel like he's letting that frustration out now. There was another story I saw. Stephen, you've helped me put it up before. The backgrounds for the press conferences. Um, he did not want to. Didn't had this happen this season. He did not want to speak in front of the background that said FIU and Baptist Health. He wanted them to take that down and put the one that said FIU and it said Butch Davis football camps to promote his football camps. And he specifically said that he would not speak at the press conference unless that one was up. Someone in the athletics department gave him a phone. High-ranking official, maybe Pete Garcia, was in the end of that phone call. And Butch is like, no, I'm not taking that phone call. I'm not getting on the phone. And eventually they're like, right, screw it, whatever. Just put that one up for him. He spoke in front of that one. And then they just took it out and put the other one for the players. A lot of people were like, oh, that's selfish, that he's just self-promoting himself and his football camps. I just think at that point already, I think that his frustration was boiling over with things with the athletic department and how things were being run. It's not the first time our previous soccer coach for Kyle Russell didn't have a good relationship with the athletics department. I know a previous softball coach didn't have a good relationship with the athletics department. And also, I think what really mattered, and another comment that he made, Stephen, to Brett McMurphy, is that I don't know if you remember earlier on in this season where FIU actually posted his coaching job online, and then they said, "Oh, we do that every year." When I was there, I never saw that done every year. I mean, I was there for 2 years, and the 2 years I was there, I never saw that posted, and it didn't make any reports. So I feel like that was a cover up. No matter who says what, or from the athletics department, I feel like that was a cover up. And he felt blindsided by that. Butch said that they posted his job without notifying him, and then he was like, imagine your players. They're like, oh look, our head coach's job is legit on website for someone to come take the job. So I feel like there's a lot of pent up frustration there from Butch.
Yeah, not a good look, man.
It's bad. It's bad, and it's getting worse, man. I mean, he is going to coach the final 2 games of the season against North Texas and Southern Miss, but this is not the way that Butch should have gone out with his tenure at FIU. And I think for me, yeah, he takes accountability on what's happened the last 2 seasons, but also I can understand his frustration with the athletics department on not helping him get to where he wanted to get with this program.
Understood. I'm at the same point, It's his fault. It's kind of not his fault. He did good and kind of sucks. It's just time we all move on, get a new head coach, new athletic directors coming in, and hopefully the program moves forward. See where they go within their conference realignment, and, they'll move on from there.
And they need to get it right. It's critical that they get it right, because if they don't get it right, man, things can get a lot worse.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the side of things. Now we just covered the FIU side of things. Obviously, we don't have as much inside scoop about the side of things because obviously we never worked there, but and we don't know how things are inside there. But we can only, talk about what from what we see as fans and people who analyze sports is that this is just an ongoing circle, Steven. Gets a new head coach. Everyone gets excited. Oh, every year, the same cycle, the same vicious cycle. Oh, the U is back, the U is back, blah, blah, blah. And then they end up losing, and then the coach is there for 2-3 years, and he gets fired, and then they bring in another coach, and the same cycle happens. I think for this program, for like, I have nothing to say for them, dude. Honestly, that they've gone through a cycle of coaches who, mind you, are still going to get their money because they still owe them money. But it's just the program is not what it was. In my opinion, I don't think the program will ever get to what it once was in our parents' day and age in the 80s and 90s, early 2000s. I don't think it will ever get there, reach that point again. And that's just my opinion of it. Yeah, Manny should have been gone last year, if you ask me. And I think he'll be gone after this year.
Yeah, the change of the athletic director, obviously kind of hints at it. The program's going in the wrong direction, like you said, for a while. Everybody knows it. I got a friend of mine, Sergio, who actually was like, "No, man, I don't even watch those games anymore." He's so fed up with it. I watch him casually every now and then, and I saw when they, fourth quarter, like third, fourth quarter, when they were beating Pitt. And I was like, he's a pretty big UM fan. I was like, "Yo, you watching this game?" He's like, "Nah, man, I'm done. I don't even want to see Manny Diaz coach." So that's how it is, man. A lot of people just want change. They want it out. They want him out, and I don't blame them at all. I don't blame them one bit.
It becomes almost like the Marlins fan base at this point with where they get a new coach and they're so restless and tired already, and they just want to see the program succeed already. That, like, if a coach has one bad season, that's it. They want him out. And these things take time, but I understand coming from Canes fans why they'd be so restless because it's been a while and they've had any sort of success. I mean, I think it's sad to say that FIU has, in the last 12 years, has more bowl game victories than does, and more quarterbacks drafted into the NFL than does. So, and that's not the standard that the Hurricanes live by. So for me, that program in general, my main thing is they need to get out of the nostalgia that they live in, the history that they live in, and try to build towards the future and not live in the past.
Yeah.
Then you talked about that game, with Sergio. We'll bring that up now. Miami, Florida State. Hey, like I told you, if they want to sign Manny Diaz to a 10-year max contract, I'm okay with that. I mean, I enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoyed this game too. I was in my hotel room in Dallas. We were getting ready to go out to this Segway tour, and boy, for a minute there, I thought Miami had the momentum. Tyler Van Dyke was driving downfield. I thought that the Hurricanes had it in the bag. I was like, all right, this is it. FSU's lost momentum. Miami has it in the bag. They've taken the lead. This is going to be a Hurricanes ball game now, and they're going to extend their winning streak over the Seminoles, and especially up there in Doak Campbell and Tallahassee is pretty good. And then we're stopping at a photo op place, in the middle of the Segway tour, and I checked my phone for a second, and I see a bunch of guys in my group chat laughing and saying FSU and putting emojis, and I'm like, oh, did they do something stupid? Did something happen? I checked the score, and I see that Florida State wins 31-28, and I could not believe it. I told my dad he thoroughly enjoyed it as well. I could not believe it, but I enjoyed it at the same time. And honestly, the last 3 games, they're like, oh, the Canes beat Pittsburgh, they beat NC State and whatnot, and they beat Georgia Tech. And then it's been kind of just the roller coaster of the season where they beat these kind of teams and they go on these little streaks where they think that they're showing glimpses of greatness, and then you come against a 3-6 Florida State team and they drop the ball. and especially on the last play from what we call a defensive coach, and Manny Diaz, and gets a horrible play calling, don't know what he was doing, and FSU burns them. And yeah, I don't hear too much from fans nowadays.
They're hard to hear a word from, right?
Yeah,
They don't want to be. They don't want to talk. They don't want to talk about the program. And yeah, bro, anytime they lose to FSU, you know it's a sad time. You know it's a sad time when they lose to FSU. More more so when they know FSU is terrible and was so hyped up to be this great team and they're back and they're not back, man. They're not back. They won't be back. I'll give it to him though. Tyler Van Dyke, the quarterback, has been looking good. I don't know how he played against FSU. I didn't watch the game, but he's been looking good. I know De'Aaron King was gone, and this dude stepped in. He's been looking solid. I think he's a sophomore. He's been playing
yeah.
great football.
I think he's to be honest, my opinion. I think Tyler Van Dyke has looked better than De'Aaron King has looked at any point in his career. I'd rock with Tyler Van Dyke going forward, to be honest.
Nah. I think De'Aaron King is a better quarterback, and he has had bad games, but he's also performed spectacularly. And when was playing, pretty well, he was doing a great job. But
Well, yeah, I
man,
mean, when you can play Central Connecticut, you look like a Heisman, of course. But I rock with Tyler Van Dyke. For me, they made a big deal about De'Aaron King. Hasn't been whatever. It's been whatever to me. Watching him play, it's not something that I obsess over like these Canes fans have done. That when they first got him, this guy's gonna be the Heisman, the next coming of Jesus Christ in the program. Like they said about Ja'Cory Harris, like they said about Brad Kaya, like they said about Jaron Williams, who mind you threw like 3 picks against FIU. But I just had to throw that in there. Yeah, man, this is a Florida State team, bro, that lost to Jacksonville State. Second division FCS, Jacksonville State beat FSU, and this same FSU team goes and beats Miami. I think at this point you can say in recent years with a loss to Conference USA FIU, with a loss to Conference USA Louisiana Tech, and then you lose to a 3-6 Florida State team who is just absolute garbage. It's time for you to go. And I think that'd be for any coach. It's time for you. You don't know what you're doing, especially on that last play of the game that FSU gets that touchdown, that drive, and that's coming from a defensive-minded coach. You're garbage. You're done. You're done. End of the year, you're done.
he's done, man. His time is gone. His time is done. He's gone. He's out of there.
Adios, Manny. And you know what? The best part is that I don't know if you knew this. Manny graduated from Florida State.
Did he really?
He graduated from Florida State, and this boy's over
No
here repping
way.
hardcore. it's sad, man. Like I saw him on the sidelines. He's just jumping around with those headphones that barely fit him, and he's like, "Let's go, trying to hype up his players. And I'm like, can this guy get any more corny, trying to hype up his players and stuff like that? I'm like, don't just stop, just don't try, man. And it's like he wants to be one of them so bad and try so hard to relate to them that it just and that's why they call him, he's a player's coach and whatnot, because, yeah, of course, the players, they can relate to him. He tries to relate with them and hang out with him. I'm sure Manny Diaz, if they asked him, hey, coach, you want to go to Wynwood next weekend? I'm sure he'd be like, yeah, I'm down. We can talk about plays while we're out there. And,
He does look like the type of Miami guy to be at Wynwood, to be fair.
yeah, we'll be out there with Art Basel, him and De'Aaron King hanging out together, talking about what flea flicker they're going to run next to throw into another interception. It's just that's the type of coach he's been. And that 2017 year that they had, they made the bowl game. That's the only good year they've had in the last 12 years. And then, of course, when we saw them play against real teams, Wisconsin in the Orange Bowl and Clemson in the ACC championship game, they got lit up. It looked like a boat on fire in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So it looked like, honestly. But continue on with football here. We'll talk into some more happy news because it hasn't been so happy about news here in football related to football in South Florida. But 2-game winning streak, Miami Dolphins. They beat the Ravens. I was very surprised. Steven, honestly sat there and I was like, where was this team, during the season? And your boy who used to play for your Colts, Jacoby Brissett, gets out. They bring in the world famous Tua. That boy, he's taking so much crap, such beating from the Dolphins fans. And he's in there, and now they all love him again. It's a weekly thing. They hate him, they love him. They hate him, they love him. They love him again this week. He does a good job. They bring in Lamar Jackson here in Baltimore, who I believe was like 6-2 or 6-3 coming into this game, and
6-2.
yeah, this is a Baltimore team where Miami hasn't defeated. They haven't defeated the Ravens in a while, in a long time. Remember last year, Ravens came down here and lit up the Dolphins, and it was spectacular. And it's a 2-game winning streak for the Dolphins, and let's see what they can build from here.
Yeah. I don't expect them to build much, but defense is looking good. Tua, I still don't think Tua is it. Obviously, everyone in Miami could go back and forth on the whole Tua thing. Never-ending conversation, but the defense showed up once again. They did what they were supposed to, what they're getting paid to do. They played fantastic. Freaking ate up the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, they had no running game. The defensive line looked fantastic. So defense was absolutely amazing. But Tua was playing on a broken finger. He was a little hurt. He came in. He got the job done. He threw some good passes. In true Tua fashion, he makes a couple mistakes. He leaves a couple balls short. He throws them a little wide. But hey, man, that's our quarterback. And we're rocking with him. And he's getting better. And as long as this defense can hold fantastic teams to 3.5 points, the Dolphins are winning football games. Hopefully.
You know what they say? Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. And when you talk Miami, you're talking Super Bowl.
First time I heard that song, I couldn't believe that was actually a thing.
Honestly, yeah, the first time I heard that song in my childhood, I was like, ugh, when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl. I haven't heard about that in a while. I mean, other than us hosting it.
It's been a good minute since that one, huh?
Yeah. I still remember I went with Jonka to this Dolphins. They invited us to some Dolphins like open house at Hard Rock Stadium. We're sitting. This is the year they're hosting the Super Bowl, and representative, and he was dead serious, man. Like straight up serious face. He was like, "We're gonna be the first team that plays in the Super Bowl in their home stadium and win it." And I kid you not, like there was Dolphins fans in there, obviously. They started laughing too. And I was like, man, these people are delusional. How can you say such a thing? Like, it's a travesty. I wouldn't even say that about the Cowboys.
The only reason he says is because the Dolphins get the freaking Super Bowl hosted here like every 2 years. So he's like, well, we for sure got to have at least one of them hit. Not happening, brother. That chance was already long gone. The other team from Florida took it. So that guy was fried, absolutely fried. And everybody laughed at him, as they should have.
And then it just made things more awkward that I'm sitting there and Jonka's wearing a New England shirt. And I'm like, why did you have to wear that today? But honestly, hey, if they were signing my paycheck, I'd say whatever you want me to say.
Exactly.
It's true.
It is.
The Dolphins,
as long as it's a good paycheck, though.
Yeah, if it's a good paycheck, I'd say whatever you want me to say. But if I'm not happy with my paycheck, I could be a little controversial. I can say some good things, say some bad things in there, say some things off record.
In true Danny fashion.
In true Daniel Torres fashion. Well, now I could say it. I can say it in many different ways with my Texas accent here. Because nothing
lost. Texas was only first segment, bro. I don't want more Dallas.
The Jones family called me and said they appreciated me visiting AT&T Stadium.
Nah, bro. You're going to turn into a cheerleader.
Honestly, Isaac told me today, and this is off record, but Isaac told me in a text conversation that he sees me marrying a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader one day, and I was very honored. I said, honestly, Isaac, I don't know how our relationship would be like. Would you get along or whatever? But that would be a dream marriage for me. And I'm letting you guys
That's
know
hilarious. Isaac
I
is
had
so
this
funny, man.
conversation. I had this conversation with my parents at the airport, and I told them that for my 30th birthday, I tried to pitch it to my dad, Steven, for his 60th. I tried to pitch it. He was
Okay.
like, no, I don't want that. And I was like, fine, I'll have it. For my 30th birthday, and I'm going to invite you, Steven, Isaac, I will invite you too. We're going to have the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders at my birthday party. And you know what? My dad asked me, what are they going to do? What are they going to do there? I'm like, they can give a
Good
performance.
question.
I'm going to have one on one side. I'm going to have one on the other side. And they're going to help me cut the cake. As my guests are rolling into the front door of the house, they can be there welcoming with the pom-poms going like that, welcoming inside the house. It's going to be a thing, man. I already found my dad's like, they don't do that. They're not that type of organization. This is not like, they're a classy organization. They just don't rent out their girls like that. And I was like, you know what? I'll show you. I found the website. You go to www.dallascowboys.com and you can find Dallas Cowboy cheerleader rentals. They speak at public appearances. They do speeches and they do birthday parties. So you know what? My 30th, you will be here and you enjoy the true greatness of what is America's team, the world famous Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Bro, that is one of the funniest things I've ever heard, man. I can't imagine walking inside. I would think it was fake. I would think it's like just girls you found in like Hialeah and was like, oye, te quiero poner este disfraz aquí para mi cumpleaños. Like, you could do the same thing, bro. Buy the outfits and everybody would think the Dallas Cowgirls cheerleaders, you know?
No, you would know right away, bro. You know they do those famous leg kicks. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think Yamile from Hialeah is gonna know how to do those leg kicks, bro.
Yeah, man. Trust me, dude. Trust me. That's hilarious, man.
Unless you give her some classes a couple weeks before my birthday,
Bruh.
could work out. Could work out. Nobody has to know they're from Hialeah. I say, hey, yeah, they flew in from Dallas. Jerry sent them my way.
Exactly. There you go.
So, but it is gonna happen. It is gonna be a great time, and we're gonna have the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. And hey, I might throw in Rowdy, our mascot, in there too, and it'll be a fantastic time. Let me tell you about that. Just in the Lone Star State of Texas.
But that sounds like you're gonna have to pay Jerry a nice $10,000 for that birthday party.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm willing to go broke for that.
Jesus.
It's my opportunity. It's my opportunity to find one of them.
I believe it, Danny. I believe it.
Hey, and I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I did that tour, and they have their own locker room inside the stadium, which was phenomenal. It was my favorite part of the tour. And let me tell you, so their locker room is bigger than some teams we have here. And I was I was like, wow. The cheerleaders have bigger locker room than some professional teams.
I heard they get paid like a ridiculous amount. I heard them like the Cowboys cheerleaders get paid like 3 times or like twice the amount the regular NFL cheerleaders get paid.
I'm telling you, they're world famous. Like they are really world famous. And I
know they did the whole thing, the Cowboys cheerleaders and the thing, and
they told me that 500 girls try out every single year. It get cuts down to 50. Those 50 have to go to a training camp. And after the training camp, they cut it from 50 to 36. And then from 36 is the official squad. And even though you're on the team, doesn't mean your spot is solid for the next year. You got to try out again the next year. And I think like the two captains of the cheerleading squad have only been there for like 5 years. Because I guess they're just that good that they've tried out and they've made it, throughout the 5 years, and they're the captains. But dude, it's intense. But my favorite part of our tour guide was he was a funny guy with his Texas accent. He goes, now they have a rule that the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders cannot talk to the Dallas Cowboys players, but that does not include tour guides. I was like, does that include employees?
That's hilarious, man.
But yeah, all that fun. We're second to last topic here. I know we're gonna disagree on this one, but Odell Beckham Jr., who's actually playing right now on Monday Night Football, he's with the Los Angeles Rams. He's back wearing a number 3 as he did at his college, his University of LSU. I'm gonna go ahead share my opinion on that first. Odell. What can we say, man? He's just Hollywood. He's loved it. His boy LeBron's calling him over. LeBron's got like 5 different teams that he follows. He's a Browns fan. He's a Cowboys fan. He loves wherever Odell is. At the end of Odell's tenure in the Giants, it was more about money and just his brand, and it wasn't about football. He goes to Cleveland, and then it becomes evident that Cleveland didn't have a Baker Mayfield problem. They had an Odell Beckham Jr. problem because every time he's not on the field, Baker and the Browns do way better. Now, they don't have beef with each other. Baker gets along well with Odell off the field, but it just didn't work with Odell on the field. It's all about him, obviously. And he goes to the Rams now. He had a problem in Cleveland. Now imagine in Los Angeles. It's got the LA lifestyle, making movies, going to all these celebrity parties, getting caught up in all of that. The Rams already have a great receiving core. Is this really, for me, is it really going to mess up Stafford in his head, thinking about, I got to force the ball to find Odell? Odell's going to be crying a lot now, saying, I want the football. Give me the football. For me, he has turned into the modern day version of Terrell Owens. He's just more now of a diva than he is a football player. He's concerned about his brand, the LA lifestyle. He's not really focused. He's had a lot of injuries that have slowed him down. And for me, the best days of Odell Beckham Jr., who's still young, but for me, the best days of Odell Beckham Jr. are past him.
I think that's an extremely hot take.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's all over you up in here, Steven.
I don't agree with it, man. OBJ is a fantastic receiver. He had his moments in New York where it was about him and not the team. Same thing with Cleveland. Okay, I get it. But he's going into a LA Rams squad that throws the ball like 40-something times a game. They have a fantastic quarterback who has had his career rejuvenated, and they have 2 good wide receivers, one who's gone from good to great this season, and they need one more dude who can just ignite that offense, play in and play out. Obviously every play those 3 receivers aren't going to be on the field at the same time. Maybe OBJ will catch a 40-yard bomb and he'll switch out, and then Cooper Kupp comes in. He's the number 1 running a route. And whatever it is, the LA Rams are just getting better. The team's getting better. OBJ is going to help them. I don't think he's going to hinder them in any way. I don't think he's going to take away targets. I mean, Cooper Kupp gets 12 receptions a game. He's getting like 16, 15 targets. Like, some of those can go to OBJ 1,000%. Exactly the same with Robert Woods. His touches are going to go down, but it's fine. It's not like those 2 guys. I don't think they're as good as OBJ. I think OBJ is running better routes. I think he's a more dynamic playmaker. I just think he's a better wide receiver than both of those guys. And the team's better off with him than they would be without him 1,000%.
I got a couple points here, Steven. 1, if OBJ is so great, why is he on your bench in fantasy? Just had to expose you there. 2,
you just got picked up by a team, bro. Get out of here. He's on my bench in fantasy.
2,
he literally just got picked up.
I had to expose you there. 2, what makes you think that OBJ is so great as if in recent years we haven't seen anything from him? We haven't seen absolutely nothing from him.
Yeah, I mean, he's had bad chemistry with Baker. I'm not a fan of Baker Mayfield either. I think he's a bang average quarterback. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's terrible. But there's just something on the field that doesn't get going with them too. I don't know what it is. Their chemistry's off. They're frustrated, obviously, on the field. Maybe they have off-field issues and they're playing it off. Whatever their problem is, they're just not making it work on the field. Maybe the play calling is not suited. Whatever is going on. Maybe he just doesn't want to wake up and live in Cleveland, bro. Maybe it's that. I mean, not a lot of people probably would, and he'd rather go to LA. Whatever the problem is, he's a good receiver, and he's gonna show that with the Rams, and there's no doubt in my mind. And he might go somewhere else at the end of the season. I'm pretty sure he's a free agent. He might go somewhere else. I heard there's talks about the Saints, but it's just speculation. And the Rams are in a great position to win the Super Bowl, especially with Von Miller now.
And thirdly, all this, and this is my take, all this just so the Rams can lose to the Packers, the Buccaneers, the Cowboys in the playoffs. You get this. The Rams have that mentality of just building all-star teams. You name them. You want all the people in the world? Yeah, come to LA. Just for they can lose mediocrity in the playoffs.
I mean, they've always had good old mediocre Jared Goff being quarterback, and now we see how he's playing in Detroit. Obviously, he's playing with an absolutely terrible team in Detroit, but Jared Goff just wasn't great, and he wasn't great enough to lead the Rams all the way to Super Bowls after Super Bowls with their great, fantastic teams. Uh, but now they're rebuilding with Matthew Stafford. They have one of the best coaches in the league in Sean McVay, extremely bright, intelligent offense and defense. So I think they're in great position, dude. I think the Rams will probably get to the Super Bowl this year. I can't tell you if they're going to win or not, but I know they're going to be contending for it. And end of the season, I will take the Packers over. I mean, I will take the Rams over your Mr. Cowboys in the playoffs any day of the week.
Well, it'll be tough because we'll be sitting at Jerry's World, probably playing the Rams at home. The Rams will be away from SoFi. But that's okay. You heard it here first. Steven's got the Rams going all the way to the Super Bowl just because they got Diva OBJ on the team.
And Von Miller.
We'll see. We'll see what happens, what transpires, and the rest of this season continues. Last topic here of the evening, Markieff Morris blindsided by the Joker in that game. Jimmy Butler barking at the Nuggets to tell them to take it outside. We get that iconic picture that I think belongs on a T-shirt, and I'd gladly buy that T-shirt. And I think that the Heat should really market that well to put that on your seat during a game as a shirt giveaway of the entire team. You got Kyle Lowry there. You got Jimmy Butler there, Adebayo, just waiting outside the Nuggets locker room, ready to scrap. And that's what you love about the Heat culture. You love about the Heat as a squad together. They're all playing for one another. So Joker gets suspended one game. And obviously there was an altercation with the Morris brothers and the Jokic brothers on Twitter. Look, what most people didn't see here, Steven, is that Jokic actually – because people are saying, oh, Markieff started it, so he kind of deserved getting hit like that. Look, no man, first of all, you shouldn't hit no man while his back is turned towards you. You're going to hit a man, hit him when he's face-to-face with you. That's called being a man. Second of all, Markieff Morris had gone and – not Markieff Morris, Jokic, excuse me, had gone and hit Adebayo, fouled him violently. Didn't get the call, but fouled him violently right in Adebayo's face. And that's why Markieff Morris came and retaliated. And it was an unnecessary foul, but he just shoved into him. And then here comes Jokic, who could have paralyzed him and with his shoulder and hits him in the back. For me, that doesn't belong in our league, that type of stuff. Yeah, you love to see it. You love to see the players scrapping and just that physicality to it. But when you're trying to purposely injure a player, that's when it crosses the line for me. And I got January 29th circled on the calendar between the Nuggets and the Heat.
Yeah. I'm sitting on the other side of the fence from it. I didn't see the play that happened before. I didn't see the foul of Jokic on Bam. But Markieff came in and hit him with a cheap shot, dude. He came in with trying to get his knee out. He came in from the side, tried to just hit him, knock him over, do something to him, and just walked away like if nothing happened. You're talking about being a man and face to face. If you're a man, you don't hit another man and just walk around, turn your back to him, walk around the other way like if nothing happened. because you just knocked the dude over. You hit it. You did hit him with a cheap foul. Now Jokic, who is much bigger and stronger than Markieff is, comes in with a little bit of a jog. Yes, he does come in hard with the shoulder, drops it on him, and hits him down to the floor. But it's not like this dude came in and punched him in the back of the head or put him in a chokehold or something. Dude came in with his shoulder, tell him, get down. You want to mess with me, you want to hit me. Jokic is a hard 7 foot, 360 pound Siberian dude, bro. Like, this guy was born and raised with grizzly bears in the mountains of Siberia, bro. You can't mess with that guy and just expect like it's all good. Like, you can't, man. That video you saw of Khabib wrestling a bear when he was younger, that was Jokic as a kid. That's what he was wrestling. I'm telling you, dude.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Steven, here because like you can take a hard foul. For me, yeah, he came in. Markieff came in with his elbow, hit him on the side or whatever. But it's not like he hit the guy behind his back. And like, I think it's just he took the hard foul, and Markieff was like, "Look, it was a hard foul. I turned around and just kept on doing my thing. Let's continue playing the game." It's not like Markieff hit him when his back was turned to him. I think for me,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
just.
but you have to turn around and look at the dude if you hit him to see if he's coming back to hit you or not. Like,
But that's the
if he's
thing. I
coming in
think
with
in
a,
his
you
mind,
can't just walk away and be like, oh, everything's okay and cool, because Jokic is a freaking beast and an animal, and he probably has a crazy anger management issue.
I think for him in his mind was just like, look, I just gave him a hard foul, and they said we're going to continue playing the game. But this guy obviously took it personal and blindsided Morris, and then you see Jimmy Butler, who got fined for. They said he was insinuating he kept on throwing fire on the problem, which you got to love it from Jimmy and his teammates stepping up for his guy. But I think again the 29th, I think it could against Nuggets and the Heat again. I think we'll see. The Jokic brothers said they're going to be in attendance to support their brother. And the Heat are going to be ready to scrap. UD's going to be ready to scrap. And I think it's going to be a chippy. It's going to be a chippy ball game.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, some ejections here and there. Maybe the Jokic brothers will make an appearance on the court. Shit will get
It'll be
crazy.
some WWE style type stuff.
Yep.
So, it leads us to our trivia question here, Steven. Can you name all the names that Hard Rock Stadium has had in its history?
I know they've had about 67 names in their history. A lot of them which come before my time. One of them including Pro Player Stadium, which was
Okay.
their name a while back ago. I didn't even go to the stadium back then. And it was also Joe Robbie Stadium.
Okay. You got the first two.
I know it was obviously then changed to what was the one that came after? I'm trying to get them in order. What was the one what was the third one? It was a random name, right? Like some I haven't understood. What was it, Danny?
So here we go. We started off with Joe Robbie Stadium, which you got. Then you went to Pro Player Stadium, which you got. From Pro Player Stadium, it becomes Landshark Stadium.
Landshark Stadium. That's the one I was trying to get my head around. I always forget that one. Landshark Stadium.
From Landshark Stadium, it just became Dolphin Stadium.
Yeah.
From Dolphin Stadium, it becomes Sun Life Stadium.
Yeah, Sun Life and Hard Rock.
And yes, from Sun Life, it becomes Hard Rock. So this stadium has had every name under the sun that you can imagine. I don't know why. I mean, just obviously the rights and the names to the stadium. But yeah, it would be nice just to, I think if we stick with Hard Rock Stadium for a while, it'd be nice. But, knowing us, now we have cryptocurrency in Miami. And next thing you know, you'd have Welcome to Bitcoin Stadium or something like that.
Dogecoin Stadium.
Yeah, Dogecoin Stadium. It probably happens soon, but it is what it is. That was the answer to our trivia question. We've had another successful episode this week, 29. Next Monday will be very special, Steven. It'll be our 30th episode. It's crazy. It's 30 episodes in already into this, and we got big things planned for Plug Talk Sports coming up soon. We thank all of you for tuning in and watching us. We really appreciate it, and for showing us love week in and week out, and staying tuned to our social media posts. We'll catch you guys, episode number 30, next Monday.
Take it easy, everybody. Peace.